The first recipe we'll be preparing are cheese scones. After I washed my hands, put on my apron and tied back my hair, I gathered my ingredients. I took out the equipment that I needed to prepare the recipe, and I began measuring the ingredients. The first ingredient is 225 ml of flour, 1 ml of baking soda, 6 ml of baking powder, 10 ml of sugar, 1 ml of salt, 125 ml of buttermilk, 65 ml of cold butter or margarine, and 125 ml of grated cheese, or that's equivalent to about 50 grams of cheese. I preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is equal to about 200 degrees Celsius. The first step in preparing my recipe is to put all my dry ingredients into a bowl. This includes my flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. The next step is to cut in the fat with my pastry blender. Cutting the fat into the dry ingredients is characteristic of all biscuit recipes, and also known as the biscuit method. When the fat is cut up, it should resemble the size of small peas. The next step in this recipe is to take your grated cheese and add it to the dry ingredients and the fat. Stir to combine the cheese with the dry ingredients, and then continue to make a well in the middle of the bowl. This is done by placing all of the dry ingredients towards the outer edge of the bowl, leaving a bit of a pocket in the middle of the dry ingredients. The next step is to pour the buttermilk into the center of the well, stirring very slowly with a fork and add in only a small amount of the buttermilk at a time. You will continue to do this until the dry ingredients and the buttermilk form a ball of dough around the fork. Take the ball of dough out of the bowl, place it onto a lightly floured surface, knead it 10 to 12 times, but be sure not to overwork the dough as the gluten will develop, leaving your product heavy and tough. Continue to cut out the shapes. Place the shapes onto a greased cookie sheet. Be sure to leave enough room between each scone as they will double in size when they are baked. Place your scones into your oven, being sure that the rack is set up in the middle of the oven. Cook the biscuits for 12 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown. Be sure to set your timer. While your scones are cooking, be sure to do your cleanup and prepare to take them out of the oven. Once the timer goes off, take the scones out of the oven and place them on a cooling rack. Once your scones have cooled, place them on a plate, sit down, and enjoy them. Be sure to do your self-evaluation and have an adult evaluate the product as well.